What's going on, everyone? So Los Angeles Lakers are in pursuit this offseason of trying to find that third guy. You see them linked to all kinds of stars, and as we progress into the offseason, you're going to see them linked to more and more. You already see them linked to Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray, Brandon Ingram, and if there are any other murmurs from anywhere else, I'm sure you're going to hear names about that because it's the Lakers. But one guy that has been linked to the Lakers for literally years and on numerous occasions even looked like we might land him, and that was DeMar DeRozan. Now, there are pros and cons in multiple ways in fronts as far as DeMar DeRozan goes. We'll jump into all of that here in this video, so stay tuned. But DeMar DeRozan, more likely than not, is probably going to stick around with the Chicago Bulls. Primarily because they can offer him the most money. He's expressed his interest in staying with Chicago, that he's all for kind of signing a long-term deal. He wants the years and ideally the money, and Chicago may be willing to offer that, right? Chicago's even expressed how they want to keep him around. Now, as of right now, we have nothing, but we haven't really quite moved into the real offseason yet. Once we get through the NBA Finals and all that stuff, I'm sure you'll start hearing and things will start ramping up. Kind of get better ideas and grasp on some guys. There's multiple guys that need new extensions and stuff. And if some of these teams aren't able to get it done, then very likely they're going to try to work out some type of deal via trade, whatever the case may be. Now, when you talk about DeMar DeRozan, the reason I say he's been linked to the Lakers before, obviously the trade rumors this past offseason, but before the Russell Westbrook trade, there was actual belief that DeMar DeRozan was coming to the Lakers, right? DeMar DeRozan said himself in an interview with, I believe it was Taylor Rooks, said that he thought the deal was done. He thought he was headed to the Lakers, and then ultimately they end up going the Russell Westbrook route. LeBron has talked about how he wanted DeMar DeRozan, so he's a guy that does make sense for the Lakers, right? Give him that consistency. Give him that guy that can just be an absolute bucket getter. DeMar DeRozan is one of the few stars in this league that also is like very reliable and plays, 70 plus games every season. He is 34 years old. So he's not a guy for like the long haul, right? He's not a guy that's for like now and post LeBron James, but he is a guy that absolutely could help right now. And he shouldn't cost $40 million, right? Chicago, they could offer that to him. I don't think Chicago will. I mean, he wasn't even making that this last go around. He's only making like $25 million. So I could see him somewhere in like that 18 to 25 range, depending on the team, depending on the situation. But I also don't see him being this huge high-in-demand player just because, one, his age, two, he is limited, right? He is a mid-range guy, right? He is an absolute bucket getter, don't get me wrong, and he's been one of the most clutch players in the league the last few years. I think it was like 2 years ago, he was actually number one in the league. It might have been 2 or maybe 3 years ago. He was number one in the league. But every year, he's top 5 in clutch. The guy is not afraid of the moment. He can step up, play big. He's basically a walk-in bucket. He has one of the best percentages as far as the mid-range goes. He can hit the occasional three and he can step out, but it's not really his game, right? He's more about kind of backing down his guy, getting to his spots and elevating and kind of creating the gap in the space to get his own shot. Now, the biggest obstacle for the Lakers in DeMar DeRozan, which let me start by saying I would love to have DeMar DeRozan. I was in the camp of trading for DeMar DeRozan this offseason, right? Like, I know I talked about Zach LaVine a lot, but that was when DeMar DeRozan was off the table. The original thing that I was like heavily pushing for is go get DeMar DeRozan, right? If we had DeMar DeRozan in this Nugget series, this might have been a very different series because he's a guy that he is one of the most consistent guys in the league, right? Like as far as just every day shows up, gives you, 20 plus, 25 a game, whatever you need. The guy is an absolute bucket, and he would fit in rather nicely, in my opinion, right? He's played alongside other guys. He can be an initiator. He can be a playmaker. He's not really a playmaker, but he can make plays, right? He's a guy that can continue with the basketball. He can fit in different spots, play different positions, right? You can essentially play 2 through 4 on some occasions. And even in San Antonio, he played a little bit of the point guard, just being the initiator, bringing the ball up and initiating the offense. So he's a guy that if you have LeBron on the court, he could just kind of bring up the basketball, get it to LeBron, and then get to his spots, or just, ISO. It just gives them a real legit scoring threat and that other option. Somebody that could take a lot of pressure off of LeBron and Anthony Davis. Love the idea of DeMar DeRozan. Problem is that it would be very, very difficult to get DeMar DeRozan because Lakers, even, and I know people say, LeBron needs to take a discount, whatever. LeBron could play for like 15 million and the Lakers still wouldn't have the cap space necessary, right? There are several things that need to happen in order for, DeMar DeRozan to be able to come. Primarily, he'd have to take a massive discount, right? Because best case scenario for the Lakers, right, would be if, like, let's say you end up losing, D'Angelo Russell, right? Now you could potentially have your full mid-level exception, which, again, that's why I said he'd probably have to take a huge discount. I'm talking anywhere from $8 to $10 million difference that he'd be taking to come in and playing with the Lakers. Now, would he take a hometown discount? I don't know. He talked and recently said in an interview that he can't rule out playing for your hometown, that he would love to play for the Lakers. He has talked numerous times about playing for the Lakers, right? It's no secret. He had an entire press tour where every interview he was talking about how badly he wanted to be a Laker and how badly he wants to be a Laker. And he was on Chicago and it was dude, talk about your team. The entire conversations were about the Lakers and him wanting to be a Laker. So there's no doubt about that. But would he take that significant pay cut in order to come to the Lakers? Now, the other alternative would be the Lakers to work out a sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan, right? So if they can't, let's say Chicago and DeMar, they can't come to a contract extension, or let's say that Chicago's we're just going to go a different direction. We're going to hit that reset button. Well, then potentially they could go, where do you want to go? We don't want to lose you for nothing, and then work out some sign and trade with the Lakers to where they could go, maybe let's say he takes $18 million a year, something like that. Let's say you take a little discount play for the Lakers. $18 million, you could basically swap him with Rui, maybe throw in a couple seconds or something, because you're doing Chicago a favor at that point, right? You're giving them something, kind of work that out, and now you got DeMar DeRozan. Now you got a bunch of picks still, and you still have Austin Reeves and the things that you need to maybe go make another move. Maybe you go get a DeJounte Murray, right? Maybe you go DeJounte Murray, DeMar DeRozan, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. But the reason that might be an issue, however, is that would hard cap the Lakers. Now, if you used your exception to sign him, that would also hard cap the Lakers. So either way, you could look at it as you potentially hard cap the Lakers. The question boils down to is DeMar DeRozan somebody that the Lakers would actually want? And by the time they come to that realization, is it too late, right? Because the Lakers, they're going to go for that younger guy. They're going to go try to get the Donovan Mitchell. They're going to go try to get the Trae Young, the DeJounte Murray, the whomever, right? They're going to go try to get a guy that helps not only now and can raise the ceiling now, but helps for the foreseeable future, right? But the problem is once you get through that muck, if you don't land any of those guys, does DeMar DeRozan already have a new contract in Chicago, and now you missed out on DeMar DeRozan and he's chilling in Chicago? It's a real question, right? So this, to me, would have to be something where the Lakers kind of go, hey, let's go get DeMar DeRozan, and then if we end up getting somebody else, then we get somebody else, right? Something along those lines, right? Or again, you sign him with the mid-level exception, right? To where, let's say you let D'Lo walk, because there are talks about the Lakers maybe giving D'Lo an inflated contract so that way they could use that to go trade him. That could be an option. But let's say that doesn't work out. D'Lo ends up leaving, right? Well, then maybe you can convince DeMar DeRozan to take that discount. If he signs for that, that would be a home run. Because now you got the production of D'Angelo Russell and then some. The only thing you're not getting is the three-point shooting, the lack of three-point shooting, right? And there would be a little concern, right, about LeBron, Anthony Davis, and DeMar DeRozan. I don't think it's a massive concern. I actually think DeMar DeRozan would fit seamlessly, right? I know people worry about his lack of three-point shooting, but look, LeBron and Anthony Davis are just basically paint all day anyway, right? DeMar DeRozan still is a long mid-range guy, right? He can go basically, 15 out and knock down the three. I mean, how many times has he taken shots and hitting it at the line and you're just dude, just take you can't just take a step back, right? Like, so I'm not really worried about that. I am worried about, just the lack of defense, right? He isn't like a complete liability out there. He does put the effort, he does put in the try, but he's not like some great lockdown defensive guy. He is 34, right? If he wants a long-term deal, what does that look like, right? But like, if you could work something out to where, maybe you're doing 4 years, 60 million. Yeah, it kind of sucks because like he'd be 38 at that point, but his game should age well, right? And even if he just becomes like, say he gets to the point where he's not the DeMar DeRozan we know right now, but if he's making like 15 million a year, say he does regress a little bit. He could always be a guy that comes off the bench and just be a bucket getter and a veteran that can kind of, play like a 6th, 7th man role, as you progress post the LeBron era. I like the idea. I think if the Lakers can realistically land DeMar DeRozan, you get DeMar DeRozan. Now, I would still like Donovan Mitchell and guys like that over him. But, the big question would be Trae Young over DeMar DeRozan. I would personally, because we have LeBron, I would personally prefer DeMar DeRozan for the now. But long-term, if you're talking long-term, Trae Young does make the most sense. But like, I would love to see something where Lakers either sign or go and trade for DeMar DeRozan and then work out a trade to go land, somebody like, a DeJounte Murray or something and have like a DeJounte, like I mentioned earlier, DeJounte, DeMar, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Like, like that would be tough. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of DeMar DeRozan on the Lakers? Do you think, no, stay away from him, a little too old, a little too concerning? Do you have your thoughts in that regard? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.